Good morning from Brindisi in Italy. It's not really morning anymore. It's 11:30. No, it's 10:30 actually. We talked with our host, and we said we'd meet today at 9. He said he'd come over to because we extended our stay for one more night here as well, and he said he'd come over, take our money, and we'd go over some other things. And then it was 10:15 and he wasn't there. Iperself, automatic distributor. For refueling, insert cash or payment cards into column Iperself, which is that one where she's going. Iperself. Okay. I have no idea how this is gonna work. It authorized my card first or something like that. He said I have to pay first before filling up. I haven't done this type of transaction before. Okay. Grazie. And now this says 13 euros, but they haven't charged my card yet. Well, maybe they'll charge it later. Huh, that was interesting. It's the first time we did that in Italy, or ever actually. We plotted a course on the map for a city. We saw some pictures. Alberobello, I think, and we thought let's go there, but we ended up on the highway, even though most of our apps are set to avoid highways. And this is marked as an E something, which I think means European route, which is not or shouldn't be a highway, but it looks and behaves exactly like a highway, and I don't want to do the whole route there on a highway. So we exited the highway and are looking for an alternative route. Ada's got the map, the plan in her phone today, and she'll be guiding us there. It's just a very cute city, about 70 kilometers away from Brindisi. Brindisi. I'm not sure where the accent goes in the name of this city yet. We had a very good night's sleep. We usually do. We've noticed that when we ride, I guess your body gets tired during the day, and usually we sleep like little babies. Last night was no exception. The room was cool. I guess I already talked about that amazing room. We found out that it used to, from the owner, that it used to be a monastery, like for nuns. It's really old. I think it's 12th or 13th century. And those arches and columns and everything, they're original, it seems. So we're sleeping in a place that's definitely steeped in history. Hot today. We left late because when people say they're going to be here at 9 in Italy, that usually means 10:15. So we'll just have to adjust and get used to that. It's something that we sort of knew from previous experiences throughout Italy, Sicily, and the south of Spain. I guess we come from a bit of a more rigid culture when it comes to time frames. if we say we're going to be there at 9, it is considered highly impolite to be there at 9:20. We're not going to let our cognitive distortions get the best of us. Saying things like he should have been here at 9 is a cognitive distortion. It's called a categorical imperative, when you believe that things should be different than what they actually are. It's kind of like your mind is contradicting reality, and that puts you in a pretty bad place. Sure, you can believe that, but should he have been there at 9? Should the Earth go around the sun? I guess things and people do things, but they don't necessarily have to. A better way to put it, a more rational, functional type of thought is, I would have preferred if he was there at 9. And I'm happy with that type of thought. I'll just replace the irrational thought, he should have been there at 9, with, I would have preferred if he was there at 9. And the other cognitive distortion, because they usually come in pairs or groups or piles. The other one might be that it is terrible that he wasn't there at 9. It is unacceptable. It's another type of rigid thinking. You might call it maybe catastrophizing, like it's going to be horrible if we don't leave at 9:15. Things like that. Cognitive distortions. You'll probably hear me talking more about this type of thing. As I said in the previous videos, I'm searching for my audience. Me and my audience, we're not a match yet, so who knows who will stick around on this channel. Alberobello, that's where we're going. Ada picked the route today. She liked the pictures on Google Maps that she saw. This Alberobello, I think it might mean beautiful tree, maybe. And she said, let's go there. She's not usually one to want to go on these long rides. It's a 150-kilometer trip there and back, so I'm all for it. Trips can be challenging for couples, but they can also be quite beautiful. This trip so far has really brought us even closer together. We've been together for a very long time. We've been together, in 2 months we will have been together for 23 years. So we've had our share of ups and downs and trials and tribulations. But this trip has been great for the relationship. I think we've forgotten a little bit. We were so focused each on themselves that we forgot a little bit about connecting to each other. And this trip does just that. I just love her. I found this definition of love that just grew on me. I really like it. And I keep reminding myself of it from time to time. It's love is wanting the other to grow independently of you at any cost. I love that. I don't know where I heard that or where I read it. And I know it can be a tough pill to swallow, maybe, to some people. It was even for me the first time I heard it a couple of years back. Dar tot e bine, nu? Plus că e o plăcere să te înregistrezi când înjuri așa. O să ai ocazia să vezi videoul acasă. Să vezi ce frumușică ești când înjuri. Tocmai vorbeam despre cât de mult te iubesc. We're gonna make people sick. We're coming up on this Alberobello, and we noticed these conical shaped buildings in some of the pictures, like this type. It's pretty cool. Is that a house? Yeah, that looks like a house, like for humans. It seems to be traditional here.
Mulțumită de ieșirea asta, mi se pare fenomenal, deci oamenii ăștia chiar locuiesc în casele astea.
This is Alberobello. We're looking for the old city center or something along those lines. I think we might be close. This is the old city center of Alberobello, but parking is like €2 per hour even for motorcycles. So we thought if you want to spend like 2 hours around here, it is absolutely beautiful, but we'd pay €8 just for parking. So we're thinking of beating the system, but it seems like it's all paid parking pretty much everywhere in this area, which makes sense because it is this cute narrow street, crowded, old type of city center. But maybe we'll find something further down the road and then figure it out. think that's not a controlled fire. Shit. Yep. That looks bad. Alberobello turned out to be a cool little place. We ended up spending about 3 hours there. We didn't really want to pay the price of dining in the city center. It all seemed quite expensive, so we thought we'd head back home to our Airbnb in Brindisi. It later turned out that this day was the start of a pretty ruthless heat wave throughout southern Italy. Riding in this heat got very tiring very fast. In the background, there's a song we heard someone performing in the street last night in Brindisi. It's called Ma che freddo fa, which means but it's so cold. I'm sure you can appreciate the irony. Good song though. Later I read a bit more about the trulli, those conical houses so common in this area, and it seems that they were a bit of an effort to avoid property tax a while back because they were considered temporary buildings. No mortar was originally used for the roofs. It's called dry stone building. They started popping up in the 14th century. Not sure how many of those are still standing, but I could definitely see some of them being used as Airbnbs in the city center, so I guess that's a thing. The building in itself is, I would say, far from comfortable. It's usually like one room with some extra spaces in the walls. And while it may be cool in summer, I can imagine that just a layer of stone like that would make for pretty poor insulation in cold months. Anyway, they look cool, and I'm glad I saw them. We will now go back to our ex-monastery renovated air-conditioned apartment in Brindisi, grab some mozzarella and mortadella on the road, and we plan to end the day early. We want to ride the heel of Italy a bit more and end up somewhere in Taranto sometime tomorrow. The next leg of our trip will take us through most of Italy, south to north, before reaching Slovenia and Serbia. We are now about halfway into our 5,000 kilometer trip and are looking forward to closing the loop. I will end the video here, but I'll see you tomorrow for another day of riding. Bye! Ma che freddo fa,